All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the fall edition of the Water Quality Advisory Work Group meeting put on by the TCQ Water Quality Division. My name is Greg Easley. I manage the Water Quality Assessment section in the Water Quality Division, and I'll be your moderator today for the meeting. And pretty soon we'll introduce the other folks here at the table with me, but just wanted to mention a few things first. If you are participating or watching the meeting online, we appreciate you joining us, and we would ask that you register your attendance with us if you haven't done so already, and you can do so by sending an email to our outreach email box. That's outreach@tcq.texas.gov. And if you could put the abbreviation of the meeting group, the WQAWG, in the subject line, that'll help us sort through the email, and you can add your contact information to the body of the email, and we'll get you registered as attending. And hopefully all of you have a copy of the meeting agenda. We'll go through each topic with each presenter here at the table, and after we end each topic's presentation, we'll pause briefly for any questions that you might have about that topic. And for those here in the room in person, we would ask that you come up to the podium here, turn on the little switch at the bottom of the mic stand, make sure that green light is on, and you can ask your question, and we'll respond to it here in the room. For those who are watching online, if you do have a question, you can send those to us through the outreach email box as well. Again, that's outreach@tcq.texas.gov, and we will respond to those as we receive them. But if you don't think of something until later on the meeting, that's okay too. We've got a question and answer session at the very end of the meeting that you can ask anything you might have not have thought of earlier in the meeting, or anything else you want to ask of us. And just a couple other reminders. The recording, or the meeting, is going to be recorded. And if you need to go back or refer anyone else who may want to watch it, they can go to our TCQ YouTube channel and find the recording and watch it there. And there will also would be a summary of the meeting that will be posted on the work group's website or webpage after the meeting is over. You go back to refer to. The link to that website is near the bottom of your agenda. And so with that, let's go ahead and go around the table here and introduce the folks who are presenting today and helping out. And we'll start over here.
Thanks, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Erica Crespo. I'm the Assistant Deputy Director of the Water Quality Division. I get the privilege and the pleasure to support Robert Sadler, our Deputy Director, in his role, and then all of these fabulous folks in theirs. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Adam Luvian. I am an industrial permit writer for the oil and gas permits, along with some other industrial permits for the wastewater permit section in the Water Quality Division. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Strand. I'm the team leader of the land application team that handles both CAFO and the biosolids program.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Villalba. I am the team leader for the stormwater team.
And my name's Michaela Coleman. I'm a permit writer on the stormwater team.
My name is Danielle Monroe, and I work with the customer information and assistance team.
All right, thank you all very much. And again, thank you all for being here. We'll go ahead and jump into our topics for the afternoon. We'll start with a few program-specific updates, and Erica will kick us off.
Thanks so much, Greg. So I'm going to share with you all our schedule for future water quality advisory work group meetings. We received feedback from stakeholders that it would be really beneficial if we could schedule our water quality advisory work group meetings to coincide better with the drinking water advisory work group, as well as the water utility operator licensing advisory committee, their meetings. And so we've been collaborating and coordinating behind the scenes so that we could all get on the same schedule. because we agree. And we're happy to report that starting in January 2024, we will be having our Water Quality Advisory Work Group meetings on the same day as the Drinking Water Advisory Work Group meetings. The drinking water meetings will be in the morning. Our Water Quality Advisory Work Group meetings will continue to be in the afternoon in this room. And then, of course, the Water Utility Operator Committee meetings will be the following day. And so we're hoping that this schedule makes it easier on y'all to participate in all these important meetings. And please continue to share your feedback with us because we truly value your input and we just want to continue to maintain these open lines of communication. So thanks so much, Greg. Back to you.
Well, actually, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Erica, because you've got one more topic.
All right. So I also get the pleasure to chat about our Senate Bill 1289 implementation stakeholder meeting and that rulemaking process. So Senate Bill 1289 was passed during the 88th regular legislative session. I hope I'm saying that right, because we're still in like the third special session this year. And so that's the statute changes that came about as a result of that bill made changes to Chapter 26 of the Texas Water Code. And we're required, the TCEQ is required to initiate rulemaking to amend 30 TAC chapters 321 and 210. And so the Water Quality Division has already started this rulemaking process, and we will be holding a SB 1289 implementation stakeholder meeting on Thursday, November 9th at 2 p.m. here in the agenda room. And so we're planning on posting the draft rule text changes later on this week, and we're going to post them on the Water Quality Advisory Work Group website online because we want you guys to have an opportunity to review this prior to our stakeholder meeting on November 9th so that we can discuss, any questions, any comments, any concerns on the draft of what we plan on doing when it comes to those rule text changes. And in the meantime, WQD will be working on a case-by-case basis to approve any applicants that are seeking authorization under our current 321P authorization process. We'll work on a case-by-case basis to implement the statute changes in between the time that our rulemaking is finalized and complete. And in these cases, we'll include a reopener clause in our authorizations just in case we have to reopen them once the rulemaking is finalized. And so please register for our SB 1289 stakeholder meeting on November 9th. And if you're interested in attending and you have any questions or concerns before our meeting, feel free to reach out to me directly. And we hope to see y'all there. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Erica. Any questions for Erica on either of those topics? Either here in the room or online? Okay. Thanks again, Erica. All right, next up, we've got Adam with an update on House Bill 2771 implementation activities. Adam?
Thank you, Greg. So a little bit of background information about the HB 277. TCEQ has transferred permitting authority for discharges into surface waters in the state for gas plants and oil gas and gas extraction facilities by House Bill 2771 during the 86th legislative session in 2019. Few points to make. TCEQ obtained the Texas Pollution Discharge Elimination System authorization from EPA effective January 15th, 2021, and via a revised memorandum of agreement. TCEQ did not obtain authority for the disposal of wastewater from oil and gas activities via land application. This authority remains under the Texas Railroad Commission. The general permit for hydrostatic discharges, TXG 670000, was amended and reissued to include crude oil and natural gas hydrostatic test discharges. This was effective October 21st, 2020. Some of the points that were included in this general permit were new crude oil, natural gas pipelines vessels are automatically authorized under the general permit provided it has been read and the terms and conditions are compiled with no requirement to submit a notice of intent. Existing crude oil and natural gas pipeline vessels that contain crude oil or raw natural gas products can now file on an administrative notice of intent electronically and get immediate authorization. Thank you, Greg. That's all I have at the moment.
Thanks, Adam. Any questions for Adam? Oh, and I don't think I mentioned earlier that, oh yeah, I did mention, sorry. For those who have questions in the room, unfortunately, we'll have to ask you to come up to the podium to ask them. But anyway, guess it was a reminder. So, all right, thanks again, Adam. Last program-specific update is Rebecca's.
Hi. So I'm going to give you an update on the net SSOs. SSO stands for sanitary sewer overflows, and the electronic reporting deadlines that we have in permits. So currently, if you are a publicly owned treatment works or a POTW and you have a permit issued by TCEQ, you will probably have a variety of requirements in your permit. One specifically is for reporting unauthorized discharges and anticipated bypasses that exceed any effluent limit in the permit. So for that, some people have a deadline of December 2020 to submit the reports electronically. Some have a deadline of December 2023. Others have a deadline of December 2025. We expect that the system that EPA has, the electronic system called NetSSO, that is being set up for Texas to be available by December of this year, December 2023. The system will not be available, so therefore we need to issue permits now with the new date of December 2025. So everybody that has a permit with a different date other than December 2025 will be receiving a waiver from electronic reporting. So this will be the second waiver that we are issuing, and it is going to be called a temporary waiver from electronic reporting of unauthorized discharges and anticipated bypasses, giving everybody an extension to submit the reports electronically up to December or until December 2025. In the meantime, you are still required to continue to submit your reports in writing on paper to TCEQ. So basically, you know, if you read your municipal permit, your POTW permit, look for that date. And regardless of what that date is, you know, like I said, if it's other than 2025, we will be issuing you a temporary waiver. And the reason is because the system's not ready. So we're not going to ask you to request a waiver as the permit requirements say. We're going to grant you that waiver automatically because the system's not ready. So then you will continue to, like I said, submit this monitoring and reporting requirements by paper to TCEQ. We are planning and expecting to send out these temporary waivers by the end of this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any questions? Okay. Next set of topics are about general permits and updates on those. And Brian will start out with the CAFO general permit.
Good afternoon. The Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation, or CAFO, GP authorizes the discharge of manure, litter, and wastewater into or adjacent to water in the state from CAFOs. The current permit expires on July 20th, 2024, and we're proposing to renew. The draft general permit and fact sheet were published on the Water Quality Advisory Workgroup webpage on July 14th for a 2-week informal comment period. Comments that are received are considered but not responded through a typical response to comments document. The draft permit was submitted to the EPA for a 90-day review on August 18th. It's the time period that we're under right now. We anticipate publishing the notice in February of 2024, which will include a formal comment period and taken before the Commission for adoption in June of 2024.
All right, thanks, Brian. Any questions on that general permit? Okay, turn it back to you for the next one.
Okay, the next one we have here under the CAFO program is the Livestock Manure Compost General Permit. It authorizes disposal of wastewater generated from livestock manure compost operations by evaporation or beneficial use by irrigation. The current permit expires on November 10th, and we're proposing to renew. This is a state-only GP, or general permit, that did not require an EPA review. The notice was published in the Texas Register on April 7th, and in the Houston Chronicle on March 31st. The comment period closed on May 7th, and no comments were received. The general permit was adopted by the Commission on September 27th and reissued the GP as an effective date of November 10th of this year. Following expiration of the current permit, existing permittees will have until February 8th, 2024 to obtain coverage under the reissued permit. That's all I have on that.
Okay, any questions on that permit? All right, well, thank you, Brian. Next up, Michaela is going to give an update on the small MS4 general permit.
Thank you, Greg. So I have some updates on our 2024 renewal of the small or Phase 2 MS4 general permit. This is our general permit which regulates stormwater discharges from small or Phase 2 municipal separate storm sewer systems, also called MS4s. This general permit is currently set to expire on January 24, 2024, which is fast approaching. So we kicked off the renewal process for this general permit in May of 2022 and held a stakeholder meeting in September of 2022. During this stakeholder meeting, we presented some preliminary proposed changes and sent the general permit to EPA for review and approval, and we received their approval on the draft permit in June of 2023. Shortly after that, EPA published a rule replacing the term urbanized area with the longstanding definition for that term, which is urban areas with a population of at least 50,000. So you'll see some changes related to that in our proposed renewal permit. We also published notice in the Texas Register and Houston Chronicle on August 25th and August 18th, respectively. The public comment period for the proposed general permit ended on September 25, 2023, and a public meeting was held on September 18th of 2023. And the proposed permit and fact sheet are available on our Phase 2 MS4 webpage if you're interested in reviewing that. At the public meeting, we presented some of those proposed changes for the general permit, which include a move from the two-step style permit to a comprehensive permit, where the master general permit is prescriptive and it includes all of the requirements that the small MS4 operators must implement, and it removes the need for those operators to submit their stormwater management programs or SWAMPs to TCEQ for review and approval, as well as removing the public notice requirement. We also shared some proposed permit language for the different best management practices and measurable goals under the minimum control measures for this general permit, as well as implementation of electronic reporting for these applications and reports. And in order to fit into that system, we shared a few changes to the annual reporting year, as well as the numbering of our minimum control measures. If you're interested in reviewing that presentation, it's available on our Stormwater Stakeholders Group webpage. And we are working on posting a recording of that meeting as well on the agency YouTube channel. And it will be linked from that stakeholder webpage as soon as it's available. During the public comment period, we received comments from 15 entities, which ended up being about 100 individual comments. We'll be combining similar comments in our response to comments document, which we are in the process of preparing. So we're working on responses to all of the comments we received, as well as edits to the general permit and fact sheet to address some of those comments. And we anticipate presenting the general permit for adoption at the Commissioner's agenda on January 24 of 2024, and then issuing the general permit on the same day. The backup documents for that Commissioner's agenda will include the final permit, response to comments document, fact sheet, all of those documents that are being presented for approval. And you can see those on the Commissioner's Agenda webpage at least 8 days before that meeting, sometimes earlier. And finally, we wanted to give a couple of updates regarding the NET MS4 system. So since we're implementing electronic reporting in this general permit renewal, that means renewal and new applications will need to go through the NET MS4 system. And that system will be available on March 1st of 2024. We're also organizing a workshop for our small MS4s. We're planning for one in-person workshop and a video tutorial on how to complete those electronic applications under the renewed general permit. So keep an eye on our web pages for updates on that. And of course, we'll share more at these Water Quality Advisory Work Group meetings as we have more information. Any questions on that general permit update? Okay, back to Greg.
Thank you, Michaela. And the last two updates on general permits be given by Adam, a couple of oil, gas, general permits.
Thank you again, Greg. So earlier I described that the TCEQ was transfer permitting authority for discharges into the surface waters in the state for gas plants and oil and gas extraction facilities by House Bill 2771 during the 86th legislative session in 2019. And two of the permits that have come from that is TCEQ has drafted 2 general permits for oil and gas extraction facilities discharged into surface water state. This includes TXG 310000 under the Texas Pollutant Discharge Elimination System program, as well as WQG 280000 under state only authority. TXG 31, if you don't mind if I abbreviate that to TXG 31, replaces EPA's general permits TXG 26 and TXG 33, as well as individual Railroad Commission authorizations. WQG 280000 will replace individual Railroad Commission permit authorizations. Some implementation activities for these permits include that the TXG 31 general permit emphasize to onshore stripper wells facilities, coastal facilities, and territorial seas facilities in the Gulf of Mexico within 3 miles of the Texas coastline. This combines and replaces EPA's general permit number TXG 260000 and TXG 33000, both of which were administratively continued. TCEQ shared the draft TX31 general permit with stakeholders for review, comments in which TCEQ reviewed all comments received. The draft general permit was then submitted to EPA Region 6 for a 90-day review period, and that concluded on August 2nd, 2022. EPA completed its review on November 14th, 2022 for the other general permit, and then TCEQ received no objection and minor suggestions. EPA approved TCEQ for issuance of the general permit. Statewide public notice in the Texas Register and statewide circulation in newspapers occurred in May 2023, with the formal 30-day public period ending on June 12, 2023. One public comment was received and is being processed. Anticipated commission adoption of the general permit is expected November 2023. So stay tuned in that. That will be coming towards you, to you all to be able to see in the next coming month. Development of TXG 31 for notice of intent, notice of change, and notice of termination forms must be completed. Moving on to WQ General Permit 28 for the Outer Continental Shelf facilities in Gulf of Mexico. The TCEQ state-only general permit will propose to authorize discharges to surface waters in the Gulf of Mexico and only covers between 3 to 10.2 statute miles of the Texas coastline. We would like to emphasize that the WQ General Permit 28 only covers between 3 to 10 statute miles from the Texas coastline. Beyond 10.2 miles, Texas does not have regulatory authority and authorization is only required by EPA. In the 3 to 10.2 statute miles jurisdiction, separate authorization is continued to be required from EPA under the GMG 290000 general permit. Going back to WQ General Permit 28, this has been drafted and developed in coordination with EPA's Region 6 renewal of their equivalent general permit, GMG 290000. And the WQG 28 was released for stakeholder input December 2022 via the Water Quality Advisory Work Group. The public notice was in May 2023, and the formal 30-day public comment period ended in June 2023. 2 public comments were received and have been addressed. And they have gone before the commission for consideration of issuance November, and they will go before the commission for consideration of issuance November 29th, 2023. So stay tuned for that also. Along with that development of the 2628, there will also be a need for notice of intent, notice of change, and notice of termination forms, which must be completed. And regarding an update on the oil and gas authorizations and current issued permits or pending permits that we have in-house. Currently, as of today, we have 53 issued authorizations under the general permit for hydrostatic test discharges, TX 670000, as well as 11 issued individual oil and gas TEPDES permits. And we have 12 pending individual oil and gas TEPDES permit applications currently being pending. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Any questions about those general permits? And I apologize, I skipped over the petroleum contaminated waste general permit update, and fortunately, we don't have that update ready for you right now, but what we'll do is we'll put it in the meeting summary that we'll post on, again, on the work group webpage at some point after the meeting, so apologies for that. But then that takes us to our last group of topics, rule updates, and we will start with Erica.
Me again, Greg? Okay. So this is just going to be a reiteration of what I shared earlier. So the rule revisions that we are making to 30 TAC Chapter 321 Subchapter P, as well as Chapter 210 are related to the Senate Bill 1289, statute changes to the Texas Water Code. So Chapter 321, Subchapter P deals with reclaimed water production facilities and the authorizations that's needed to construct and operate those facilities. And then 30 TAC 210 is for our beneficial reuse of reclaimed water. The Senate Bill 1289, and of course we're going to talk about this at length on November 9th. Senate Bill 1289 is requiring us to do rulemaking in order to decouple the 321P authorization from a requirement for the alternative means of disposal being permitted through TLAP. And so we are making those rule revisions. We're going to talk to y'all more in detail about what that all entails when we meet on November 9th. But hopefully that's a quick and easy nitty gritty update for you. Back to you, Greg.
Well, that works. Thanks, Erica. Any questions for that topic again? Second chance. You'll get another one here at the end of the meeting, but okay, so we'll move on to Brian to talk about the dairy waste rulemaking activities.
Yeah, the dairy waste bill fall under Chapter 321, Subchapter B for CAFOs. This rulemaking is required to implement House Bill 692 from the regular legislative session. And it's a result of the need for other means to dispose of dairy waste by dairy farm operators. HB 692 requires that rules be adopted no later than March 1st, 2024. So we have a tight turnaround on this one, very tight one. This grants, as a summary, this will grant TCEQ rulemaking authority to issue an authorization by rule for land application of dairy waste, adopt rules governing the land application by allowing the disposal of dairy waste from permitted CAFOs and unpermitted AFOs or animal feeding operations, into a controlled retention facility, including a lagoon or playa, and to authorize land application by irrigation associated with that disposal. And I have a few anticipated dates here. One's coming up pretty soon. We have the proposal date, which will occur at Commission agenda on November 8th. And then it'll be published in the Texas Register on the 24th of November. We'll have a public hearing date that's set for December 27th with a comment period end date of November 24th. Or that's not right. It should be January 24th. Yeah. 1 month after that. And then the estimated date of adoption will be February 21st, 2024 to meet that deadline that we have from of March 1st of 2024. And that's all I have on that.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions on that rulemaking? Nope. Rebecca's just raring to go about her rulemaking update, and I will turn it over to her. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, the last update for today. We'll give you an update on the rulemaking for Title 30 Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 311, Subchapter H. This is a rulemaking that was triggered, required by House Bill 1688 from this 88 regular legislative session. House Bill 1688 was effective on September 2023. The bill amends Texas Water Code Chapter 26, Subchapter M, known as the Water Quality Protection Areas, by expanding the pilot program that's originally established for quarries in the John Graves Scenic Riverway to now also include the Coke-Stevenson Scenic Riverway. The Coke-Stevenson Scenic Riverway is defined as the South Llano River in Kimball County, located upstream of the river's confluence at the city of Junction. The bill establishes the same requirements for the Coke-Stevenson Scenic Riverway quarries as the existing statute requires for the John Graves Scenic Riverway quarries. It requires permitting, either an individual or a general permit based on the proximity of that quarry to the river. It also requires financial responsibility, inspection, sampling, cost recovery, and enforcement programs. The bill also extends the pilot program that was in the John Graves Scenic Riverway by 2 years. So this pilot program now, instead of expiring on September 1st of 2025, will expire on September 1st, 2027. So that will encompass both the John Graves and the Coke-Stevenson Riverway areas. TCQ started the rulemaking for this rule, and we are scheduled to hopefully go to Commissioner's agenda on January 10th of 2024. So currently we are working on going through our management reviews of the proposed rule before we go to Commissioner's agenda. We are proposing to publish the proposed rule, or we're tentatively proposing to publish the proposed rule on January 26, 2024 in the Texas Register. That will start the 30-day public comment period. Therefore, the comment period will end on February 26, 2024. If everything goes well, final adoption is tentatively scheduled for June of 2024. So this rulemaking is important for the John Graves Scenic Riverway, currently known as the John Graves Scenic Riverway Quarries Permit. So that is permit TXG 50,000. So right now, in the previous updates, I had been talking to you, or Dante, letting you know that we were working on that general permit. Well, that general permit is on hold now because of this rulemaking. So as soon as the rulemaking is finalized in June 2024, we will reconvene with the general permit to hopefully get it issued shortly thereafter. So right now, again, the general permit that regulates the quarries in the John Graves Scenic Riverway, portion of the Brazos River Basin, that expires on March 29, 2024, is on hold. We will publish in the Texas Register to allow those existing quarries, which there are only 6 of them, to administratively continue their permit until the rulemaking is completed. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any questions for her topic? And for that matter, we'll just go ahead and roll right into the larger question and answer session. Any questions on anything we've talked about or anything else on your mind? Oh, Danielle.
Okay. I have one question that came in from Angela Kilpatrick with Trinity River Authority. It's a question for Rebecca. It is, can the public access the reported SSOs on the EPA website once the reporting begins?
So good question. I did forget to include a little bit of that. So we were anticipating to have the net SSO system ready for Texas permittees by December of this year. There are, I think, maybe around 10 POTWs that are beta testing the system. So once the system will be ready way before December 2025, we hope. But we decided to go ahead and extend the temporary waiver to December 2025 because once the system is ready, maybe next year, then that'll allow permittees to go ahead and start using it. You don't have to wait until December 2025. As soon as the system is ready, we will let you know, and you can go ahead and start using that system. But that will also allow us to sort of slowly release that the training and everybody gets used to the system so that by the deadline of December 2025, everybody already knows how to use it, has either seen the YouTube video that we hopefully will have, and understands how to go ahead and report electronically. So as soon as the system is ready, you can go ahead and create your CDX account, which is like our STEERS. It is a Central Data Exchange System. You can go ahead and create your account and start using the system. You don't have to wait until the deadline. And like I said, we will let you know as soon as the system is ready.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any other questions? I guess, yeah, go ahead, Martin.
Okay. Michaela, you said something about the small MS4 reporting. Is that going to include the large MS4s eventually, or how's that going to work?
Good question, Martin. So right now we're setting up the phase 2s or the small MS4s in the EPA net MS4 system. Once they are in there, we will be working on the phase 1 or our larger MS4s for the electronic reporting. As soon as we start work on that, we'll definitely be sending out information to our phase 1 MS4s, but we haven't started it just yet.
Okay, cool.
Only for annual reports, sorry, just to be clear, not applications.
Yeah, no, that's what I was interested in, is since I'm working on mine right now. But and also the net SSO reporting, is that December 2025? Is that what?
So yeah, right now, we have some permits that require you to have reported electronically 3 years ago. Some that are going to require to report electronically this December. We're moving the deadline to December 2025.
Okay. But you're
So
anticipating
some permits may already have that deadline, but those that don't, we're going to issue the temporary waiver extending the requirement that you don't have to report electronically until December 2025.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Got another question coming up.
Hi. I didn't get to make the stormwater seminar that you guys hosted this past week, and so I'm not sure who this question goes to, but I did hear that individual permit applications are going to be submitted online through STEERS. That or
Yeah.
Rebecca, you can feel free to chime in. Is this a stormwater thing? Do you know anything more about what?
I heard it was all individual permits for the water quality division, industrial,
The ARP team,
domestic,
what the ARP team
stormwater.
is doing.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Can you speak on that, or?
Do you want to? All right. My button is okay. There we go. My button was green. I'm so sorry, y'all. Yes, there was an administrative process update on. I don't have the details on that. It could be the art team their update on. But let me follow up with you. Can I connect with you after the meeting and then make sure that we get you that information? Yeah.
Okay, I'll add a little bit.
Okay. There we. Excellent.
Just because we have our water quality stormwater seminar on last Thursday, and Erwin Madrid gave a little presentation. So we are working as a division to go ahead and move electronically for the applications, for the administrative report portion of the applications for the individual. So it's going to be going through Steers. You know, Steers is the account to get into e-permits. And so the administrative portion of the individual permit applications will be in that system. And I think it is going to be hopefully next April. That's why we started introducing this topic. And it will be, I think, just the administrative portion. It is only for the industrial permits and the municipal permits. It doesn't include right now stormwater or the phase 1 MS4 permits. It's only the industrial and municipal permits. And then the technical report will still be submitted, attached as a PDF. And that's as much as I know.
Okay. And
I
is
paid
that,
attention to presentation.
and do you know if that's going to be required or if that's just going to be an option or?
So, thanks to the recent water quality seminar, to answer your question, there is no hard, concrete, necessary need to submit online. We're still going to accept a hard copy. We prefer whatever's more convenient for you at the moment. And there will be a transitionary period about 30 or 60 days before that April date. So if there's any hiccups, we're going to be able to catch those, and we're definitely going to be wanting to have the applicants test try through just to see what type of capacity that database can uphold, because we understand that it can be quite a large capacity of applications that come in. So again, there is no hard concrete necessary requirement that you have to submit online, but for the administrative portion, we would like to get some test trials during and around that time period.
I think Erwin would say, yes, it's required. Just because, it'll make his, staff's job easier. But anyway.
Thank you so much for your question, and give it up for Rebecca and Adam. Oh man, y'all came through.
Bailed me out, that's for sure. Yes, thank you all, and good questions. Speaking of the stormwater and water quality seminar we recently had, are those presentations going to be available online? Does anyone know?
I think they are. They are posted online on the
Yes.
website, right, Rebecca?
Yeah, they are posted online, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, we can include the link on the summary.
the notes, yeah, great, thank you.
Yeah, we had over 300 people attend in person and virtual. So thank you for those who attended.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, last call for questions. Anyone else here or online? Okay, hearing none, just a couple reminders or announcements. Don't forget about the stakeholder meeting Erica talked about, earlier in the meeting, November 9th, 2023, at 2 p.m. Again, that's for the SB 1289 implementation meeting. And then another reminder that starting in January, that we'll be pairing up our work group meetings with the drinking water meetings as well. Our next meeting is going to happen on January 16th, 2024 at 1:30. Unless someone knows more than I do, I know they're about to kick off renovations of this room, and so The meeting may not be held here. If it is, great. If not, we'll certainly let you know where it's going to be. So stay tuned for that information. But I think that's all I've got. So thanks again for everyone who came in person and participated online. We appreciate it. Hope you all have a good rest of the day, and we are now adjourned. Thank you.